Hey everyone, it's the CEO of Real Estate. In today's video, I want to talk about what I'm seeing on the grassroots, talking to many of you at your doors, on the streets, and at your homes. So, as we enter the 2025 spring market, more and more conversations I'm having with people is, people are waiting to go onto the market in the spring. They're waiting to sell their home. So, a lot of people have been waiting out 2024 with regards to the you know uh, unpredictability with the rising interest rates. And a lot of people are feeling hopeful and confident to enter into the spring market. So, what does that mean to you if you're somebody who is looking to sell your home, or if you know somebody who's looking to sell their home? What advice can you give them? Okay, so one of the things that I want to make it really clear, as you watch this video and take in the information, is we're in a different market. So, what I mean by that is it depends who you talk to. Are we in a slower market? Are we in a buyer's market? We're in a rising interest rate environment. Although rates are coming down, the effects of the rising interest rates have taken a toll. So we're in a different market. What's gone is the COVID market, right, where prices went up astronomically, and people were selling their homes. Homes were selling in record time. You didn't have to do any repairs or declutter your home. Like, homes were just selling like hotcakes. That is over. That fun time for sellers who cashed out, that is definitely over. So we're in a different market now. Are we in a buyer's market? It really depends upon the city or neighborhood or property type. But the general sense of the market is we're in a different market. And in many markets, experts do feel it is more of a buyer's market. It's definitely not a seller's market right now. So experts are feeling that it's favoring more of a buyer's market. So what does that mean, right? If you're looking to put your home on the market in the spring, or if you know anyone who's looking to do that, what does that mean for you or for them? So pricing is not your only strategy, right? So typically, when you're in a market that is moving really quickly, pricing, you can adjust in order to have an impact. So if a home is perhaps too high, you can adjust price downwards, and once you kind of hit the market price, then the home is sold. So what I'm seeing with regards to like our listings and talking to a lot of people, again, like one-on-one, on the grassroots level, is you can't use pricing as your only strategy. And what I mean by that is your home itself, it has to present well. A lot of the things that we could get away with, in a really hot market like a COVID market, let's just take an example, is sellers were selling their home, and it may have required repair. There could have been water stains on the ceiling. There were imperfections in the home that buyers didn't think about, because the market was moving so quickly, and they had to make a decision. If they didn't make a fast decision, then they would have lost out on the property. So that's gone, right? Those days are gone for a while. So what that means is that when you go onto the market, not only do you have to price it well so that buyers would be interested in your property, it has to present well in addition, right? This is the interesting thing now, the market that we're in. Even though you could be accurate with your pricing, when you look at comparable properties that have sold, you could be at the right price, but that's not the only thing that's going to be required in order to sell a home in this market, right? Because buyers are a little bit more apprehensive, because they're taking their time, because it's a slower market. If there are any imperfections in the eyes of the buyer, they're going to pass on the property, even though it may be priced accurately. So that's very important, right? As you prepare and as you get closer to the spring market, what are the things that you can do to kind of prep your home? Number one, you can declutter. Number two, you can put fresh coat of paint, right? Number three, any imperfections or any things that require just a little fix, like a handyman fix or whatnot, take care of those things. You are shooting yourself in the foot if you go onto the market in the spring and there are glaring things that the buyer can see that need repair or are in disrepair. So that's very important to know, that you can't just lean on price. You have to address other aspects of the house, and that is how the house presents itself. Now, skill is required in this market, right? When the market is hot, and that's the skill of an experienced realtor. Like when the market is hot, and homes are selling very quickly, sometimes people feel like, okay, well, why do I even need a real estate agent? My home is selling so quickly. I'll just put it on the market and it can sell quickly. And in some cases that happens. But skill is required now by listing agents. It's required because it's not an easy market. And what I mean by that is the skill that's required is local knowledge is required, accurate pricing is required. These are two major factors that can contribute to the sale of your home. Knowing comparable sales, knowing the interiors of properties in the neighborhood is helpful, because that helps and assists the listing agent to price the home accurately. So that's one thing that I see when I see oftentimes agents that are coming from outside of town, different cities that are listing properties. They have no local knowledge, so they are pricing based on perhaps old comparable sales, or they haven't seen any homes in the neighborhood in the interior. They don't know how to price the home in relation to what other homes have sold for. So that's very important in a more of a buyer's market, in a slower market. And let's be real, it is a slower market compared to COVID. If we're using COVID as the comparing point, then yes, it is a slower market. The market is showing signs of life as interest rates are coming down, and I feel personally that we'll continue to see um, confidence rally in early 2025. But we can't forget the important aspect um, that is not only pricing in 2025, it is in addition to pricing. What are the things that you can do to present your home well? And I'm going to show you some examples of properties that sold quickly. And the reason why they sold quickly is because they're in the top 10%. When you have homes in the top 10%, they sell fast. If homes are not in the top 10%, then it takes a longer time to sell in a more balanced buyer's market. So, and lastly, before I go into some examples, is you have to do the work. So, if you're a seller who's looking to sell in the spring, or if you know somebody, a friend or relative who's looking to enter into the market and put their home on the market in the spring, they have to do the work. And that's the work in prepping the home, decluttering the home, even now, getting it ready, doing the paint job, hiring a painter, hiring a handyman to do the repairs, doing the repairs yourself. You have to put in the work now as you get ready for the spring. That way, you're putting your best foot forward, and you're then hopefully entering that top 10% of homes that sell quickly because you've prepared yourself. And even if you're not in the top 10, maybe you're in the upper percentile, so that buyers see your home and are interested in it and want to put an offer in on it. So before I close out, I just want to show you maybe one or two examples of homes that were in the top 10% that sold pretty fast. Okay, and then vice versa. And I'm not making a statement with regards to like the skill level of the listing agents. I'm just making like an expert observation on what I'm seeing here. So one of the properties that sold very quickly, I covered this in another video. This was 69 Radcliffe Road. And the reason why this one sold pretty quickly is the lot. So this definitely was in top 10%. And this lot, is an unusually large lot. You can see this backs onto green space, golf course. So this one sold it was 6 days that it sold for 2.2 million. And when we take a quick look here, I'm just going to show you the lot size. So the lot size was 100 by 236 was the lot size, and it's a ravine lot. So when we take a look at that, that's obviously in the upper 10% of the homes that people are seeing. This will either become a custom built home, or somebody's probably not going to divide the lot. I would say that's less likely, maybe in the future, but this definitely, if I were to guess, I would say this is just going to be like a custom built home that goes on this lot here. So that was one that went quickly. Let me see if I can show you an example. Let's see if there's another good example. Let me take a look here. If not, I'll close it out with just that one, because that was a very good example. Let's see. Let's take a look here. Okay, this is actually a good example here. This property sat for a while. This one finally sold. This one sold for $1,021,650. It was listed for $1,079,000. They went back and forth on price. They were at $1,099,000, then they went down to $999,000, then back to $1,099,000. They were back and forth. But what I feel led to this property selling, having seen the interior of the property compared to other properties that are still sitting, is the interior. This property shows well. It was staged pretty nicely. The interior, you can see it's clean. It's got good finishing here, as you can see from the pictures. So it presented well, the property itself. Pictures relatively decent, but again, clean, staged well. The photos were good. Photos weren't taken by a real estate agent's cell phone, which is a big red flag if you ever see that. You have to have a professional photographer take your photos. But again, clean home. Again, presents well. Pictures show well. So this, I feel, led to the eventual sale of this home. Versus there's a home not too far from this one that is still sitting and it hasn't sold. So again, did this property end up in the top 10%? Maybe not the top 10%, but compared to the competition, it was in the upper percentile. So you see from this example is this property then ended up selling because when people are comparing it to others, it's in the upper percentile. And that's where you want to be when you're selling your home into a market that's more balanced, more of a buyer's market, more of a slower market. When you're not in a hot seller's market, you have to utilize strategy, and you can't rely just on pricing. There are other tactics that are required, and there's skill required by your listing agent in order to help your home sell. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions at all, feel free to reach out. I'm always happy to help. All the best. Take care.